أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. First of all, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has given us tawfiq to be able to attend these sessions and another day to do His shukr. It's tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The discussion we had in the previous session, it was about the reality of life and death. I'll try to summarize because the gap is a lot. After a month we are sitting, so you must have forgotten. Although I'm sharing the slides and you can ask Mahbub or others, you can get the slides for yourself as well. Even if you want PowerPoint slides, I can share the PowerPoint slides with you. And later on, if you want to teach anyone, you can teach this as well. So the discussion, if you remember, I'll go through the slides that the way we see things many a times, it's upside down. We see the things like that. The things which we are not supposed to give importance, we give importance. And the places where we are supposed to live for a good period of time or forever will be there, these places are forsaken. You don't find people over there. So we had the discussion that there are three types of people in regards to death. How they consider their death, or I'll say how do they consider their life. First person is a person who has a pessimistic approach. They feel that this is all, the whole life is matata, full of troubles. I should not have been in this world. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have sent me to this world? And they are always complaining. And we discussed about one of the Sha'ir, Arab Sha'ir, Abu al-Ala al-Mu'arri, and he had written some ash'ar. And there is another person who is careless. And this is the second category. You will see a lot of people. They want to enjoy this life. They say, currently I'm shabab, I'm a young man. When I'll get old after 50 and 60, I will do Hajj, Umrah, I'll be having tasbih in my hand, I'll do istighfar. In my youth, let's enjoy. There are people like that. So this is second approach. By the way, have you seen, is there anyone in this hall who can claim that death cannot come even after a moment? Is there anyone? No one can claim this. We have seen those who are young, they leave this world. Old people, they leave this world. So it's not the case that you get the signs and Malakul Maut will give you a call, get ready, inshallah next week I'm coming to you. That's not the case. Nobody knows. You must have heard, hey, that person, he was amongst us. Something happened, maybe an accident, is no more. And the journey of the hereafter, which is there forever, has started. So no one has the guarantee that he is going to live forever. That's one thing. And people, those who are smart, they prepare. They prepare. And if I say to prepare for your hereafter, who should be mindful and who should be more careful? A young person or an old man? The answer is the young one. Why? The old person, the time is gone. Young people like you, you have time to prepare. For example, you want to climb Kilimanjaro mountain. You say an old person of 60, 70 years old, he'll say, Baba, I can't. I cannot climb. But if I tell you, if you want to climb, what will you do? Every day. You're running. Or for marathon, you're supposed to go, you'll go for jogging and you'll prepare yourself. You'll say, Maulana, give us some time. we'll prepare ourselves. So whenever the discussion on death is there, we say, this topic is the topic of elderly people. No, rather, this topic is yours. That we have to prepare. We can prepare actually. We can prepare. And those ulama who were very smart, urafa, for example, amongst them was Ayatollah Mirza Kabir Shirazi. Mirza Shirazi Buzurg, we used to call him Mirza Shirazi Buzurg, the one who gave the fatwa of tobacco. You remember? The tobacco is prohibited. So how United Kingdom was penetrating, and then this mujtahid Marja Taqlid, he gives a fatwa that using tobacco is haram. And everyone throws away this tobacco, and they had to leave Iran. So this particular Alimuddin, when someone asked Maulana, if someone tells you that after 1 week you will die, what will you do? Leave this Alimuddin. If someone comes and tells you, oh Maulana, you will see tasbih in my hand every day in masjid, I'm doing istighfar, and yeah, that's what we'll do. What was his reply? He said, nothing, same life, same schedule. Why? Because they had prepared themselves. That wasn't the case that one night before the exams they are opening the book, oh, what is going to come tomorrow? No, that's not the case. Continuously they are working hard. They say, nothing, it will remain same. So this is the second approach. The realistic approach is that you prepare for the reality. So if you do not prepare for the reality, if you're sleeping and after 1 month there is exam, you'll get 0, a big 0 you'll get. You have not prepared for the exam. Can you change the reality? Is there anyone who says there is no death? There is no one here. Death is a reality. It's a journey. So if you cannot change the reality, then prepare for that reality. That's what we discussed. And the Holy Quran says, قُلْ إِنَّ الْمَوْتَ الَّذِي تَفِرُّونَ مِنْهُ فَإِنَّهُ مُلَاقِيكُمْ. You cannot run away. So death will hunt you, death will catch you. وَالْحَرْبُ مِنْ مُوَافَاتُ. Fleeing from death is actually meeting with death. We discussed that. And we discussed about this as well. Now our discussion from here is genius, brilliant, intelligent, smart. If I ask you who is the most intelligent person, you'll say Maulana, the one who can convert 1,000 T shilling into 10,000 T shilling. He is very smart. Yeah, he is very smart. That's what we say. So somebody asked Rasulullah, who is the most smart person? Yeah, who is the smartest of amongst all? Rasulullah's reply was amazing. Aktharuhum dhikran lil maut. The one who remembers his death a lot. Remembering doesn't mean that you have tasbih and you say al-maut, 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 no. That you are mindful that you have to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَشَدُّهُمْ إِسْتِعْدَادًا لَهُ. This is the tafsir. What is the meaning of dhikr? Remembrance. That he is preparing for his death. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْأَكْيَاسِ. These are the one who are the most intelligent. And there is another hadith, it says, Al-mu'minu kayyisun. Mu'min, a believing man or woman, they are kayyis. Kayyis is intelligent. Yeah. So they don't do a deal where there is a loss. Yeah. So we discussed that as well. Letter number 31 of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Tonight's discussion will be regarding that why people are afraid of death. Why? What's the reason? They don't want to discuss. They're afraid. So this is the discussion we'll make today, inshallah. Advice to one of his sons after returning from the battle of Siffin. When he was returning from the battle of Siffin, letter number 31, you can go and see Nahjul Balagha. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam is discussing. Now this letter was to Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wasalam, or it was journal. There's a debate on that. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam says, وَعْلَمْ يَا بُنَيَّ, know that, O my son, إِنَّمَا خُلِقْتَ لِلْآخِرَةِ, that you are created for the hereafter, not for this dunya. Not for this dunya. You are supposed to be there for the hereafter. La lid dunya, not for this world. Walil fana'i la lil baqa'i, and for destruction in this world. You will be fana, you are mortal. Okay? You will be annihilated in this world. Annihilation in a sense, not forever. That you will be no more in this world, but in the hereafter you will be there. Lil fana'i la lil baqa'i, that for destruction, not for lasting forever in this world. Walil mawti la lil hayate, and you are created for maut, not for hayat of this dunya. Allah Akbar. And Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam says, wa annaka fi manzili qul'atin wa dari bulghatin wa tariqi ila al-akhirah. Amazing sentences, amazing words of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Imam says, you are in a place which does not belong to you. This is not your house. Samahani. This is not your house. If you go to your relative's house and you are magani for your relatives, you'll say, I'm here, I'm going to live for here. So after 1, 2, 3 days, your relatives will say, go away from here. This is not your house. Go to your house. Imam is saying, this dunya is not your house. House is somewhere else. Wadari bulghatin, a house for making preparations and a passage towards the next world. Ayyuhan nas, innama dunya daru majazin. That certainly this world is a passage that you have to pass. Wal akhiratu daru qarar. Have you seen any person that he has gone to the airport and he takes everything with him and he says, forever I'm here? No. You have different suitcases, by the way. Yeah. So the hand carry what you're having is small and the luggage is big. And the the flights actually they give you 7 to 10 kgs. And for the other it goes up to from 30, it goes to 60 kgs. Isn't it? Why? Because the airport is not Darul Qarar, it is Daru Majaz. It's a passage. After 50, 60, now in this dunya, 60 plus is a bonus. Yeah, 50, 60. The way we are eating, our lifestyle. فَخُذُوا مِن مَمَرِّكُمْ لِمَقَرِّكُمْ. Allah Akbar. Imam says, so take from the passage, so take from this world for the permanent abode. Let me give an example. We all see all this. So our African brothers will appreciate this example. What is this? Mundukasi, and the other is ferry. So Mundukasi is there and the ferry. Have you seen in Mundukasi someone has brought all of his stuff of his home? No. Or in ferry, have you seen someone has brought his sofa and he's sleeping? No, you'll not see this happening. Why? Because he knows this, that I'm in Mundukasi for a short period of time. For a short period of time. Even while standing, if this time is passing, there's no problem. You'll see people are standing and they say, there's no problem. Why? Because I'm here for example, half an hour, 1 hour, that's it. It will pass very quickly. And the ferry as well, within 10 minutes, you go to Kigamboni. So you not see people, they brought their home stuff, nothing. So what about myself? Why I'm accumulating a lot of things in this world? Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Ankabut, chapter number 29, verse number 14. He says, وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا نُوحًا إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِ, that we sent Nuh to his people. فَلَّبِثَ فِيهِمْ أَلْفَ سَنَةٍ إِلَّا خَمْسِينَ عَامًا. He lived amongst them 950 years. Wallah. And 950 years, this is the time of tabligh he did. Tabligh. And scholars have discussed, and in the books of history, the age is mentioned about 2,500 years. 2,500 years. Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam. He is called Sheikhul Anbiya. Yeah. And the Holy Quran says, فَأَخَذَهُمُ الطُّوفَانُ وَهُمْ ظَالِمُونَ. And the flood seized them while they were the wrongdoers. When 2,500 years passed, angel of death comes through Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam and says, Ya Nuh, your story is finished. Before his death, he had prepared a small hut or a small like this room, you can see it. It was so small when he used to sleep in that room, so his feet, half of his feet were outside of this house, outside of his house. After 2,500 years, when the Israel ﷺ comes and want to take his life, his ruh, he says, can you please give me a moment that I can go under the shade of the tree? So he gives permission. Normally, we'll discuss the ayah. Holy Quran says that no one is given this permission to prepone or postpone the time of the death. No. La yastaqdimun wa la yasta'khirun. So whatever the time is there, it will come. So he comes and sits under the shade of the tree. So Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam asks the angel of death that wouldn't you ask me that why I came here? He said, Ya Nabi Allah, I don't know, you tell me. He said that I came here to describe my whole life. I wanted to summarize. This is the sentence. My whole life passed like coming from the sun to the shade. 2,500 years. And in other riwayat traditions, it is mentioned that when he was told that there will be people in the end of the times, their life will be 60 or 70 years only. At that time, Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam replied, if I was there amongst them, I would have spent the whole life in one sajda. In one sajda. Time is very short. Time is moving. So how long is the life of the hereafter? The Holy Quran says, فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ شَقُوا فَفِي النَّارِ لَهُمْ فِيهَا زَفِيرٌ وَشَهِيقٌ. So those who are wretched, those who are the wrongdoers, so they will remain خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا مَا دَامَتِ السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضِ. See this expression, مَا دَامَتِ السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضِ. So it was the custom of the Arabs that they wanted to describe a thing which will last forever. So that was the phrase they were using. Ma damatis samawatu wal ardh. That as long as the heavens and the earth remain intact. And that's what the Holy Quran has used. Khalidina fiha. They will remain in it forever. What is the meaning of Khalidina? Is there anyone who can describe? If I tell you $100,000 is a big amount or not? Give me an answer. $100,000.
Yes.
Yes. $1 million. Yes. $1 billion. A lot. Okay. Now you compare $1 billion with infinite. It has no value. Because you have kept infinity. In front of infinity, there is no value. Khalidina is infinity. There is no end. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala discusses about Su'idu, those who are Sa'id. Khalidina fiha ma damati samawatu wal ard. Ayatullah Sayyid Muhammad Hussain Tabatabai, during his lecture, Sahib Tafsir al-Mizan, he used to give lecture, and during his lecture, out of context, he used to say, Ma abad dar pish darim, ma abad dar pish darim. What does it mean? That we have eternity ahead, eternity ahead. Yeah. There is no end. There is no end. Really, are we prepared for that? Okay, how long? كَأَنَّهُمْ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala compares this life. So those people, so the people when they will wake up from their qubur, they will be resurrected. Surah An-Nazi'at depicts and discusses and says كَأَنَّهُمْ يَوْمَ يَرَوْنَ لَمْ يَلْبَثُوا إِلَّا عَشِيَّةً أَوْ ضُحَاهَا. They will say that we didn't live in this world just except for an evening or for a noon or for noon. So we were there for half a day only, that's it. For one evening we were here. In the blink of an eye, it passed. So these are the tomatoes. What do you say in Swahili? Huh? Nyanya. Nyanya. Is there anyone who can purchase this nyanya for 1,000 shillings? Is there anyone? Chafu, nyanya? You will not waste your 1,000. You feel your 1,000 has importance. Really? What about the importance of your life? You want to give it away? Really? For the thing you want to exchange which has no value? Which has no value. And Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam says that your value is nothing but the akhirah. Yeah. Do not sell yourself for this world, which has no value. I'll go ahead. Here I come. Why do people fear death? If I ask you, how many people are there, and you can share your ideas that why people fear death? What's the reason? Raise your hands and please, can we exchange? What are the reasons? Yes? We are not prepared. Yes, number one, we are not prepared. That is the case actually. I know there is hereafter and I am not prepared. Okay, number one is the ignorance. Ignorance is non-recognition of the reality of death. They don't know what is death actually. What is going to happen? He doesn't know about that. So the thing about which you don't have any idea, you're always afraid. For example, if I tell you, you are going for safari. Tomorrow you are going to Afghanistan. You say, Maulana, Afghanistan. Get ready. So you'll say, Maulana, where will I stay? What about the security? What about this? So many questions you'll be asking. Wallahi, will you be afraid or not? Yes. I don't know about. So many people, they are afraid of death because they don't know the reality of death. What is going to happen? Yeah. The Holy Quran says, قَالُوا أَإِذَا مِتْنَا وَكُنَّا تُرَابًا وَعِذَامًا أَإِنَّا لَمَبْعُوثُونَ. So they said, when we have died and become dust and bones, are we indeed to be resurrected? That is there anything afterwards or not? لَقَدْ وُعِدْنَا نَحْنُ وَآبَاؤُنَا هَذَا مِنْ قَبْلُ إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا أَسَاطِيرُ الْأَوَّلِينَ. These are all ancient stories and myths. So they were thinking that death is end. Nothing is going to be there after death. That is ignorance. Because of that, because of this particular sort of thinking, they were doing all the chafu stuff because they felt there is no hereafter. So enjoy this life, there is nothing afterwards. For example, there is a hadith, amazing hadith. Hadith from Imam Ali ibn Mohammed, Imam Ali Naqi alayhi salatu wasalam. It is narrated that he approached one of his companions, that he was on his deathbed, and the hadith says, وَهُوَ يَبْكِي وَيَجْزَعُ مِنَ الْمَوْتِ. He was crying and he was afraid of his death. So Imam says, فَقَالَ يَا عَبْدَ اللَّهِ لَا تَخَافُ مِنَ الْمَوْتِ لِأَنَّكَ لَا تَعْرَفُ. You are afraid of death because you don't know the reality of death. If you knew, you wouldn't have behaved in such a manner. That Imam alayhi salatu wasalam describes and says, أَرَأَيْتَكَ إِذَا اتَّسَخْتَ وَتَقَذَّرْتَ. I'll not read the Arabic, I'll do the translation. That Imam says that imagine if you were filthy and covered in dirt and sores and rashes afflicted your body, and you knew that if you take a bath, you will cleanse your body, then wouldn't you want to enter the bath and wash it all away? So that person replies and says that, Ya Imam, yes, I would like to go and take bath. Then Imam alayhi salatu wasalam replies and says, فَذَاكَ الْمَوْتِ. Then maut is like this, death is like this. هُوَ ذَلِكَ الْحَمَّامِ. It is like that bath. وَهُوَ آخِرُ مَا بَقِيَ عَلَيْكَ مِن تَمْحِيصِ ذُنُوبِكَ. So whatever the sins are there on your ruh, it will make your ruh pak, clean. And when he heard that, he gave his life to the angel of death. We don't know actually what is the reality. So many riwayat are there. So there are two perspectives. One, the danger is there. The other perspective, hope is there. If only hope is there, then we will have the audacity to commit sins as much as we can. But if there is only fear and fear and fear, then we'll become mayus, we'll become despair, we will feel hopeless. So a mu'min flies with two wings. Hope is there and the fear is there as well. With two wings he flies. The second one is sins and oppression. As the brother said, because of our crimes what we have committed. So we have taken the mal of someone, we have not, the obligations what were there on us, I have not fulfilled all these obligations. So because of that, a person is afraid of his death. That's what the Holy Quran says in Surah وَلَا يَتَمَنَّوْنَ أَبَدًا بِمَا قَدَّمَتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ. They will never ever wish for their death. Why? Because whatever they have sent because of that. What they have committed, they don't want to wish for their death. For example, you have a car, and you have some stuff, goods are there in your car. So what do you have actually? Chiti, what do you say, chiti in Swahili? The bill, the tax paper, what do you say? So the receipt. You don't have a receipt. And you see the police is there in front of you. Not only the receipt, you don't have a driving license as well. And you're driving a car. And you see traffic police. What will happen? You'll start shivering. I don't want to go there. Why? I know I don't have a receipt of the goods. I don't have a driver. I don't have anything. The same thing is happening with us. Our nama amal, our accounts are chafu. We are afraid. And those who are the pious, who are the urafa, they are ready. That's what Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wasalam says. Yabna Rasulillah, ma baluna nakrahul maut wala nuhibbu. Why are we reluctant to die? We don't want to die. And why don't we like death? So we have karahat. We don't like death. Imam says, innaka akhrabtum akhiratakum wa ammartum dunyakum. Because you have ruined your next world and have developed this one. If I tell you, you are living in Masaki, you have a villa, and I say tomorrow you are going to, I don't know which, you are going to be living on the streets. The night will be very difficult for you. Why? Because the house what you are having is lavish, you have a good villa, and tomorrow you will be on the roadside. Imam says we have done this actually. This world, we have done everything for this world. Nothing is there for the hereafter. تَكْرَهُونَ النَّقْلَةَ مِنَ الْعُمْرَانِ إِلَى الْخَرَابِ. And this is the human psychology, that a person doesn't want to be transferred from a good place to a bad place. One last thing here, I'll describe this and I'd like to finish the discussion here. Ayatollah Sayyid Jamaluddin Gul Paigani. So you can see on your right hand side. So he was the teacher of Ayatollah Sayyid Muhammad Hussaini Tehrani. Ayatollah Sayyid Jamaluddin Gul Paigani, both of them were the Urafa. Both of them were Urafa. So Ayatollah Jamaluddin Gulpaigani was a student of Ayatollah Jahangir Kashqai and Ayatollah Akhund Kashi. Again, both of them were the Urafa of their time. So, teachers of Ayatollah Sayyid Jamaluddin Gulpaigani, they gave him one wazifa that you're supposed to do to reach higher status. That on the night of Jummah, Shab Jummah, he was living in Isfahan. So there is one big graveyard which is called Takht Fulad. That he was supposed to go to the graveyard and spend some hours and do amal ibadat in that graveyard. He said that that was my activity, I used to do that. He said one night, so in winter, there is snow. So snow was falling, snow was coming down, and it was cold. He said that I reached to the place, and in Iran, they have cemeteries like that. Sometimes there are rooms for the families actually. So there are rooms for the families. He said that I went to one of the chambers, and I was sitting there. So some people brought one janaza. So they put that dead body there and they went back. So they were thinking that in the morning they will come here and they will do the tashiyah janaza and then they will bury him. What did they do? They kept one Qari Quran to recite the whole night Quran just next to that dead body. He said that I had opened my handkerchief to eat some food, and my wazifa, my duty was that I used to sleep for a while and wake up at the middle of the night. I said, I wanted to eat something. I saw the angels of punishment are coming down. Angels of punishment came down. And they are hitting that dead body with the maces. With the maces. And the dead body is shouting in such a way that the whole qabristan, the whole graveyard is shaking. And when they were hitting, the fire was going up to the sky. He said that I could see, but the person who was reciting the whole Qari Quran, he couldn't see. He was reciting the Quran. And he said that I wanted to say something, but I couldn't utter anything. At that moment, he said that I stood up and I wanted to run away. I couldn't sit actually in that place. Then the Qari Quran said, please don't go from here. Outside there is snow and there are wolves. Please stay here. He said, I can't stay. What I'm seeing, you're not seeing. He said that I fled from there. I was falling, and that's how I reached my place. And for 1 week, I was not able to stand up from my bed. And my teachers, Akhund Kashi and Ayatollah Jamaluddin Gulpaigani, Ayatollah Jahangir Kashqai, they used to come and feed me. That I have seen that what is the accountability in the hereafter. Now the Qiyamah is not there. So people are afraid because of that. They are afraid of death because they know this is going to happen. The third discussion, inshallah ta'ala, the third discussion, what is there that why people are afraid of death? Inshallah, we'll continue this in our next session. Please recite salawat on Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.